welcome to Backyard Blooms. In today's video, we are going to transplant some plants that I have in this skinny side garden. Normally, I would always call this my shade garden, but I feel like as the summer goes on that this is still getting too much sun for this area. So I get enough sun that everything tends to still thrive in this area because it gets the relief of the afternoon shade. Because I am in Charlotte, North Carolina, zone 8, and right now it is about 2 or 3 o'clock, so you can tell that I'm in full shade right now. But I'm just not really happy with the design that I have going on right here, so I thought I was going to be happy and do nothing but shade loving perennials in this area, and I was just going to fill it pack full. So you know, I do have my sprinter boxwoods that I have up against the house, and I feel like that gives me like a little bit of structure. These sprinter boxwoods do really good in the sun or shade, by the way. So they're doing well in both locations. So whether it gets a little bit of sun or a lot of sun, I feel like that they're doing really well. And of course I do have drip in this area as well. And I had to cut the drip back because it does only get morning sun. I feel like that it stays a little bit more wet in this area. So I have already removed some of these perennials in this location. I got all my Lenten roses, my hellebores, already removed and planted those, and I'll show you where I planted them. I actually had it in my garden, my winter garden tour. If you've not watched that, go ahead and make sure you look at that. And that just shows you like how all the evergreens are looking so really good right now because they are very underappreciated and they don't get enough attention. And I gave those evergreens a lots of attention in that winter garden. So anyways, I have still my Pulmonaria. These are from Proven Winners, and I think these were called like Polka Dot. I'm going to have to go back and look at the tag, and I'll throw the exact name up there for you. But when they do flower, they have long calyces, and they come out looking salmon, and then they turn to blue. So I think it's called pink blue. Pretty sure that's what it's called. I've got 3 of that in here, and this is the plant that Sasha likes to eat. I have no idea why, but she likes to eat on it, and when I touch it, it's gritty. So I'm really shocked that she likes to eat on this plant. But anyways, it's not hurt her, and it doesn't bother me, so I let her kind of eat on it a little bit. But you can see right here I have a lot of undergrowth that needs to be taken off. So I think I'm going to cut this back most of the way, especially all this underneath here, and then we're going to get it dug up and replant that in the cottage garden, because that cottage garden is starting to change on me now that those Yoshino Crypttomera trees are starting to get a good height. They're about 16 to 20 feet tall right now. Then that is providing me some shade. So I'm going to move these over to that area, and then I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I kind of like to still leave this area like for annuals. I know that it costs a lot to buy annuals, but whenever you buy annuals, you're going to get most of your color from your annuals, especially I can plant mine sometime in April, and they will last me until they're like just absolutely done. Like usually I'm pretty much wanting to pull them up before I even get a frost. And this year we got our frost the 1st of November, but still I have a really long growing season all the way from April, mid-April, end of April, all the way till November. If I, still liking that plant, still looks really good. All right, so I'm just going to prune some of this back before I dig it up. And I don't know about you guys. You can comment and tell me your thoughts. I feel like it's more of a chore to replant stuff than it is just to plant. So of course it is. I mean, it's a bigger chore. But however, if you don't like something in that location in your garden, it's okay. Like, either go ahead and pull it up completely and gift it to somebody if you don't want that plant in your garden anymore, if it's not working for you. I say that life's too short, and if it doesn't bring you joy, then change it up. So it's up to you. Anything in your life, whether you're not happy with your weight for anything, your job, like you're responsible for it. Instead of complaining, just change it. I still have to remind myself of my own advice sometimes about trying to be positive in life. All right, like look at all this that I got off that plant. Do you see? Like look at all this stuff that I just removed. So I need to go find my pop-up bag and put all this stuff in there. I'll be right back. And then another thing that I'm going to have to address is when I pull these up, because I'm trying to get some of the root system as well, is how I'm going to fill these holes. So I may have to go find me, I would not put complete potting soil in there. I'm not ever going to do that, or just put nothing but compost. So if I'm going to fill a hole when I have clay and I know that it will pull in there and it will never drain really well, I'll go find me some more clay and maybe mix it with some more soil and then fill the hole in that way. I'm just trying to pull all the dead off this plant before we transplant it. Some of this mulch back up here out of the way. Look how she's eating that plant. Crazy. All right, so I have two options to be able to pull this plant up. Right here, I have my hori knife, and I bought me a new little shovel, and this one's called Root Slayer. I'll look to see if it's on Amazon. I bought this one at Tractor Supply. So it's got these serrated edges right there that's supposed to cut through roots. Do you see those? All right, well, let's just give it a try. Oh, that worked. Awesome. I got a rock right there. So I'm just using my weight to cut all the way around this. Able to get up underneath there too. All right, let's see what we got. Still got another root in there. Oh. So look at this. This is a healthy root system, and it looks like I got all the roots there. So this plant should be pretty happy in its new spot after I give it a nice big hole. So I'm gonna have to plant a pretty good hole for this one to go in. So I do have a video when I planted this, and I'll put the video at the end of this video if you want to learn more about this plant, because I already described and talked about it in detail, so there's no sense me doing that again. I already had all the zones for this plant if you're wanting to plant something like this in your own garden. I do know that this can take shade or partial sun, of course, because it gets a good 4 to 5 hours of sun here. And then in the springtime, it's going to have really pretty pink and blue blooms on it. And this is, I consider this more like a evergreen. So this is going to give you winter interest also all year long. So if you're looking for something that's going to give you some type of color and interest all the time, then this is a good option for you right here. All right, so so you can tell I've got a good size hole that I'm going to have to figure out here. And just kind of pull some of this up around here, I guess. We're supposed to get more rain tomorrow. Tuesday, we had this storm that came across. It went from Florida all the way up. We got about 7 inches of rain, and the week before that, we got a lot of rain. I had an hour drive, and I was terrified driving home, like terrified. But anyways, and do you know what I was worried about? Can you believe I was worried about my ranunculuses? Like, are they gonna get too wet? But I checked them today and they look okay. So I think they're gonna be pretty happy. But they're in my Savannah garden, and if you guys are interested in a raised garden bed like that, I do have a link, and I get a little bit of kickback from that as well. And you can use my discount code, just put Kim Prestis in there. And if you hit more underneath my description, everything that I sell or that I recommend as a gardener will be underneath there. It includes my power planter, biotone, like anything that I recommend on my videos there will be a link on that as well. So, and I never will recommend something that I don't believe in and that I don't have in my own garden as well. I will never do that to you. So, where was I getting at? Oh, this Wednesday and Thursday, it will be maybe mid-January. We're supposed to get some really cold temperatures, like down to 19 in the morning time. So ranunculuses do not like anything colder than 26. So that Savannah garden comes with the cover, and I'll throw a picture of it up. I got a little clip. So I'm gonna put that cover back over my trellis on the Savannah garden, and I'll probably wait and do that maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, because I think it's Wednesday morning that we're supposed to get really cold temperatures. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up as well is that that's the reason why you don't want to buy everything higher in your zone, because every now and then, just like this, we get this really cold snap, and then some plants just don't like it. So I have one plant that did not survive my cold temperature last year, and that is my Beyond Pink Coreopsis, and I loved it so much that I went and bought another one. Well, now we're going to get another cold spell, and like I thought last year was like very unusual, and now it's going to be unusual again 2 years in a row. So I'm going to try to throw some my Crypttomera. I'm going to prune some of the Crypttomera leaves off and try to cover that plant to try to protect it a little bit. So if you've got something that's in your garden that you know that does not like cold temperatures, I know, for instance, another plant, it's not the magnolia, the gardenia. My neighbor, Dawn, that you see on the videos from time to time, her gardenia did not, and my nose is running, I'm sorry, did not weather well with that cold spell. And Jenny with Creekside said this exact same thing. So that might be a plant that you might want to consider, like giving it a little bit of extra protection, because it's only going to be cold for 2 days, which will be easy to do to protect. So I've got 3 more to pull up. I'm going to actually pull up this Ferrofugum as well, and then I'm going to show you its new spot. Another thing that you may think about, since this is a perfect time to go ahead and replant, this plant is more in dormancy than it is in the springtime, of course, because it's not flowering. But if you wanted to divide this plant right now, this is the perfect time to divide it. So you could probably even cut this in half, or maybe even into 4. So you can make this one plant into 2 or 4 if you would like. So I think I might take a chance, and I'm gonna cut it in half and just see how it does and let you guys know. So what I'm gonna do, I can either cut it with my hori knife, or I can just take this, since it does really well, and split it right in half. So this is what it looks like when I just cut it in half. But you can see I did cut some of the roots right here. But you know, they say you can divide perennials, so that's what I'm doing. And still got some good roots right here. And you can see here that I still could probably divide that into another quarter if I wanted to, and make 3 plants out of it. What do you guys think? What would you do? Should I cut it one more time? That means more holes that I have to dig though. Right now. More work for me. But yeah, I think I might. Why not? Here we go. So I at least got 3 plants out of dividing that instead of buying more. Do you know how much these plants would cost if you went to purchase them right now in the nursery? So this plant right here would be $16 to $21 for a perennial right now. So I could either replant this in my garden and have more plants, or I could even share it with neighbors if I wanted to. So, you know, I love getting free plants, so I'm sure my neighbors would love to get free plants too. So here you go, guys. Oh, we'll just see how it does. I think they'll do well. You can see like new shoots coming up right here anyways. You see that right there? So I think it will be absolutely fine. And you all already know that I like to plant things in plants of 3 anyways, because it gives you a bigger impact in the garden. So I can just do a drift of these now if I wanted. Could probably even plant that and it would probably come up. All right, so I'm in my cottage garden right now, and these are some of the hellebores that I moved from the other side. I have behind me right here, a Jacob's ladder right here, but I'm trying to make my hole, and I have this stupid fabric, you guys. So I have a couple of roots too, but mainly the fabric is preventing me from planting in this area right now. I have so much mulch that I put in this bed over time, because I told you I like to do 2 to 3 inches of mulch, and that prevents weeds. You guys, like, I pull a few weeds, but I don't pull near the weeds that everybody complains about at all. But I deal with, there's a big root right here, or a rock. Oh, it's a rock. These rocks. Move that away. This fabric, they say it breaks down, and then once it's in the ground for a while, it doesn't even want to like cut easy either. So aggravating. See, I would advise never to do that. I didn't know any better. No one really talked about it much when I started this garden. Thought we were doing the right thing. And then, you know, all the hard clay that's underneath this, it's not getting all this really nice compost right here that has turned, you know, from all of the mulch that I had over the years. So when you have this landscape fabric, then you don't have any of the worms getting down in there either, and then turning your soil over. Pull it up. Look. I am struggling a little bit right here because I have some roots from, you know, everything that's in here. I don't know what root that is from. Still using my biotone. This is the one that I cut into 3s right here. I am going to put it pretty side this way though. So in order to prove a point, I had 3 plants to dig and plant. Now I have 7 since I decided to go ahead and divide those. Now those have only been in the ground for less than 2 years, and so I was able to divide those again. So if you're on a budget and you want more plants and you love one plant particularly, dig it up. This is the time to dig it up if the ground's not frozen, of course, or if you're not 3 feet under snow. Anyways, this, like I am zone 8, this is a good time for me to do it. But of course, I'm not going to come out here when it's this coming Wednesday or Thursday and it is 20 degrees waking up in the morning. I'm just not going to do that. But my ground might be frozen on top then, but maybe not underneath. So anyways, I'm lucky. I can plant any time of the year. So, but anyways, I got 1 in the ground. Now I got 6 more holes to dig. Why did I do that to myself? Anyways, it's going to look really pretty. Like I said, you can see, like here in the afternoon, I do have lots of shade here. So these plants are going to be happier over here, and they're going to look really, really pretty. And I'm glad that I'm able to put something underneath this canopy. This is the Yoshino Crypttomera, and the roots on this plant go really deep. So this is a good tree to plant underneath as well. So let me get 6 more holes dug and planted, and then I'm going to show you at the very end what they all look like. All right, so this is 2 of the Pulmonaria that I planted right there, and I need to go get some plant tags. So I'll remember what those are right there. I'm pretty sure they're called Pinkaboo. And then painting over here, these are the other hellebores that I planted that like partial shade. And then I have 2 more there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's 5. And I found a couple of rocks, and I just threw a couple of rocks. Can you see where I had those rocks right there? When we planted these trees, it was on a hill, and we had to mound the tree up, of course, because there was such a slope, and we put these rocks right there. So if you're planting on a hill and you have a big berm that you had to build up the tree on one side versus the other, like I had to do here, then you can throw a couple of big rocks just to kind of hold the dirt back right there. But there's another one. And then this one is by the other Yoshino Crypttomera tree right there, where it's just in shade, especially the afternoon shade. So that's definitely what I'm looking for. It may get morning sun, but definitely will get afternoon shade. The frog's saying, what are you doing in the garden today? What do you think, little froggy? All right, and this is the Crypttomera that I was telling you about, the Beyond Pink Crypttomera that did not make it last year because of the cold spell. Now we're gonna get another cold spell. We hardly ever get into, like the 19s or 20s or even below that. Most of the time we're probably stay around 23, 26 and above for the low in the morning. So I cut off some of the sprigs off my Yoshino Crypttomera tree, and I'm just going to place some of these over that when it comes next Wednesday. Now I'm not going to do that now, but just to show you what I was going to do, I'll just kind of cover it to where it'll have some protection. Something similar to that, just to kind of give you an idea. You can use mulch as well. You can use pine straw, you can use burlap, you can do some type of, I don't even know if a frost protection will really work, but I think this would be very sufficient right here, protecting that plant. Like I said, it's not gonna happen until Wednesday, so I'm just gonna put all this right there next to it. That way, when it comes Wednesday, I don't have to get my pruners out, my Felco 2 pruners, and cut everything, and I'll just have it to protect at least this one plant, because I want to see this plant live, very particularly. you guys have not treated yourself to a nice pop-up bag, they're not that expensive, and I have the link for this one. This one is Sleek Garden. You can see where she's like gonna try to eat on that plant. She's gonna be like, Mama, why are you moving my plants? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some inspiration and some ideas to go ahead and dig up some perennials. If you're not happy with the placement, go ahead and dig it up. And if you can divide it, go ahead and divide it, and it'll give you more plants as well. So get out and get gardening and enjoy your garden, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe this video as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.